Hello, YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, graduation. I never attended my graduation ceremony for a number of reasons. Look, in this country, the whole concept of going to a graduation ceremony is just, yeah, it's held with so much honor and everybody makes such a big deal about it, as they should. As they should. I mean, yeah, it is a big fucking deal. But there were so many reasons why I didn't go to my own graduation. And I think in order to understand why I didn't go to my graduation, it's important to understand what university was like for me as a trans person. Look, I'm not gonna act as though I had the best fucking time in university, but at the same time, it wasn't a nightmare. It was life. It literally was just a combination of the good, the bad, the ugly, the fucked up, and the beautiful, all rolled into one. I don't know. It was all rolled into one fucking experience. I started university in 2011, and when I started university, obviously I was still presenting as male, and I knew that I wanted to transition, but I wasn't sure how I was going to go about the whole entire process, because it honestly just seemed fucking daunting to me. So, I mean, I spoke to student counseling, and that was the first time I really started to unpack all of my feelings about my dysphoria, about who I wanted to be, and it was a really important time for me because it allowed me to explore what my life would look like as the other gender. So I did counseling for all 4 years, but the first year was to get me prepared to transition in 2012, when I actually did begin my transition and start dressing and acting and presenting differently. But university, there were so many other things that I fucking had to deal with. Number one, before I say this, I have to put it out there that I do love my mom, and it's all good between me and her. But at that time, it was so difficult because I didn't really have a lot of financial support. Yes, she paid for my rent, of course, and she paid for the course itself. But I received about 600 Rand a month to do every fucking thing. I don't know what the equivalent of 600 Rand is in dollars or euros, but it's not that fucking much, trust me. It really, really isn't that much. So I had to obviously get a job. I actually had 2 jobs whilst I was in university. I worked as a promoter. I didn't promote clubs. I promoted butter and other household products. And I also had to work in a restaurant. But surprisingly, even though I still had to hold down 2 jobs, I actually came second in my field of study in my first and my second year. So despite whatever was happening financially, and despite the fact that there were all of these financial constraints, I still managed to do well academically. Granted, I did not have textbooks at that time. I didn't have textbooks because I couldn't afford to get textbooks. And little known fact about me, I actually wear glasses while I wear contact lenses. And at that time, I couldn't afford contact lenses and I couldn't afford glasses. And I remember sitting in my 4th year class when I didn't have any glasses at all, looking up at the board and looking at the lecturer and being like, I do not fucking see any, I can't fucking see, I'm nearsighted. So there were all of these fucking things that were just coming against me that I had to deal with while I was in university. But it's actually kind of crazy that I still managed to pass everything. I only ever had one rewrite. And I think what really made the whole experience more challenging was the fact that in second year I decided to start my transition. And it just brought another level of difficulty to the whole situation. I already was fucking struggling with, one, my family relationships were not, yeah, they were pretty fucked up. I mean, I wasn't really talking to my mom at the time, and I definitely wasn't talking to my sister or my brother. So I was alone in the city, and I had to, in many ways, I really had to fucking fend for myself. And I think that's when you start to see how strong you are as a person. There were so many fucking times where I just wanted to like throw in the towel and just not do it. But I knew that I had to push through. I knew that my best chance at survival was to get a degree, so I could hopefully, potentially find a job and be able to afford to take care of myself. And the thing is, in South Africa, like if you don't have a college degree, your job, your career aspects are pretty much fucked. But it was so crazy because that was the time when I was transitioning, and obviously I still was, girl, I was a brick bitch. I did not look good in the beginning of my transition. And people were quick to remind me of that. I just remember, like, I had always had a good relationship with my college professors and my lecturers. But when I transitioned and I became Christabel, suddenly there was all of this pushback from the faculty. Look, you know, obviously there was, I wouldn't even call it bullying from the other students. It was more that people didn't understand, and people were, you know, had opinions and they voiced their opinions. Whatever, girl, I get it. It's not ideal. But like the college professors, the lecturers, including the head of department, a lot of them, not everyone, but a lot of them are very they seem to be very anti me. And there seemed to be all of this transphobic pushback that I got from the faculty. And I remember one of my lecturers, who was actually also the head of the department, right at the beginning of the academic year in class, he had asked a question, and I picked up my hand. And he told me in front of the entire class or whatever that he does not see me, he doesn't want to see me, and he doesn't want to hear me in his class. And I knew deep down in my heart that there are just some fights and there are some battles that are not worth entertaining. And that was one of them. My objective was to graduate. Regardless of whether or not and this is going to sound fucked up, but regardless of whether or not the faculty was transphobic or not, or treated me with respect or didn't, I needed to graduate and I needed to get that diploma. That was my only prerogative. Whether or not they liked me, it hurt, but I mean, bruh, like, we need to be real out here in these streets. So I did kind of disappear in a way, and I remember my one friend, she said that the one time I said something in class and she couldn't hear me. And yeah, like I had to fucking disappear. I felt like I had to disappear. And that really was how I tried to survive university. So at this time, like, I know I keep going back to the financial constraints and the financial implications of the whole thing. But when I say it was difficult, like that really is a fucking understatement. I remember like during the whole exam period, like I couldn't pick up shifts at work and I couldn't do any promoting. which meant that there was a massive dent in how much money I had to do things, like, and how much money I had to buy food, to buy medication, to pay for fuck knows what. And I remember this one time, like, I asked my roommate if she had any, like if she had any food because a bitch was broke. I had nothing other than water and ice in the refrigerator. It was that level of brokenness. And like the bread she had gone off. And she was like, look, I don't have anything. Like, the only thing I have is off. And I was like, bitch, I will take it. I took that piece of bread. I cut off all of the parts that had, like, been rotting and whatever. And I just remember I had margarine. I remember I put on some butter on that bread. And I just got myself some of that water. And I said a prayer. Like, I blessed the food. And I was like, you know what, Father God, like, this is all I have at this moment. Thank you for what I have, and I just pray that I don't get sick from this. Please get me through this period. And it was through that faith and it was through those prayers that I was really able to persevere. Like, I'm not the biggest fucking Christian out there in this world, but I definitely believe that there is a power much higher and much greater than me that helped push me through university. And it was such a fucking joke. Like, it was such a fucking joke. Like, when I say I did not have my physiological needs, I really didn't. Because even in my 4th year, when I had to, like, move from one apartment to another, and I ended up living in this one apartment with these guys who low-key fucking hated me. I didn't have blankets. It's fucking the dead of winter. It's cold as fuck. It's raining outside. And I would take all of my, like, clothes and my jerseys. I'd put them all on me. And I'd, like, sleep like this. And somehow I managed to have, like, a good night's sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I did eventually tell my one friend, and she gave me her gown, which I still fucking have, by the way. She gave me her gown, and I slept in that. And yeah, eventually, like a month later, I was able to get blankets. And I remember that first night when I had blankets and I was sleeping in those blankets, realizing how cold it had actually been. And I know that in those times, there really must have been, I don't know if it was God, I don't know if it was my divine guardian angel, I don't fucking know what it was, but there was something that helped me get through. And I know that transitioning is hard. And I know that, like, trans women, we fucking go through the most. But we can get through it. That's the point that I'm trying to make. We can get through it. I got through the whole university thing, graduated, didn't attend my graduation ceremony because I didn't have money to pay for a gown. I didn't have money to pay for my hair. I didn't have money to pay for my shoes or any of that vain, petty shit. The only thing I could do was just go and, like, get my fucking certificate and be like, I've done it. And I'll never forget, like, I back then I wanted to, and I still do, I wanted to do, like, my master's degree and whatever. And I was calling in to find out about, like, this bursary. And so I was speaking to this guy, and I was just telling him that, look, I just want to find out about the scholarship and how I can go about, like, getting the scholarship. I'm so sorry, like, I don't know, I can't get my words out. But I was just asking about this scholarship and how I can, like, fucking qualify for the scholarship so I can fucking do my master's. And he was all like, oh, did you just graduate? And I was like, yeah, like the ceremony was a week ago, but I didn't go. And he was like, oh, well, you know what? Congratulations. Congratulations on, like, oh my god, I hate this. He was like, congratulations on your accomplishment. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he was the only person who had ever, like, acknowledged the fact that I had done something. I was the only one of my mom's children who graduated. Like, I don't know if my brother and sister have finished university since, but I was the only one. I fucking had to hold down 2 jobs while I studied. I had to deal with, like, the faculty bullying me. I had to deal with, um, the fucking students and their shit. And I had to deal with coming into myself. But the point of this video isn't to sit here and play Ain't It Awful. The point that I'm trying to make is whatever accomplishment that you have, it is yours. Own it. We as transgender women, or just as people as general, we have to deal with so much shit, but I promise you, a new day will come. You're going to get through whatever it is that you're facing, and you're going to stand strong. Thank you for watching. I'm a fucking mess, so I'm going to end this video. Bye.